It's pie day, you know what that means. Time to make our guinea pigs a banana apple pie. Alright, so let's start out with the crust. I used oats, dust from hay and pellets, and some paper. So I'm going to start by cutting the paper up into tiny little pieces, and then we're going to add some water to that and kind of mix and mash it up to make some essentially wood pulp. Now I use a mortar and pestle for most of this, but you can use a food processor, you could use a blender, really whatever you have that mixes and is also a little sharp. The next thing I'm going to add in is some oats. So I'm not using a ton of oats, you know, oats are pretty fattening, and I am using whole oats. And lastly, I'm going to add in that dust. So it's basically just dust from the bottom of my hay bags, my pellet bags, and also like vitamin C cookie bags, things like that. The finer the dust, the better this will work. Now, some people will make treats for their guinea pigs and they'll use pellets and they will grind up the pellets. I do not like to do that because the pellets are so calorically dense and all of those vitamins and nutrients are going to start to be degraded and broken apart when you do the mixing, when you add the water, when we do the very low bake. So basically you're giving them all those calories and none of the nutrition, which is the whole point of what pellets are for. So while some of this dust is dust from pellets as well, it's also a lot of hay dust so that I can kind of balance out those calories and not give them a ton of unnecessary calories to make them even fatter than they already are. And of course you need to test the batter. And Chef Maple approves. So I decided it wasn't really binding very well, so I just added in some oat fiber here, which is basically just the outside of the oat, but you can just grind up oats and add that in, and that's totally fine. And then, oh, I forgot to put this in the ingredients, but I also used a little bit of banana in the crust. And these are all of the crust ingredients. You just mash them together, stir them together, cut them together, all that fun stuff, however works best for you. Clearly, Java is very much liking this and would like to eat it all, which is kind of weird. You'll see why later. So we're looking to mix this into like a dough-like consistency, so like a really thick pulp or like a pie crust dough sort of thing, but obviously, you know, it has a bunch of random pieces of hay in it and stuff. It's not gonna look exactly like dough, but just that kind of consistency. You want it to be able to clump up, you know, if you wanted to like make a ball with it, you should be able to, something like that. And now you let your guinea pigs have the extras, lick off your utensils. So now for the kind of making of the crust. Now I'm putting banana and apple in this, so my guinea pigs definitely do not need a huge pie of that because they would, I don't know, die of sugar probably. But what I am gonna do is use this little tiny cupcake mold because it kind of has those, you know, ruffled edges like a pie would. And I'm just gonna shape it into a pie crust in the bottom because we are going to blind bake the crust. And once I've got it how I like it and how I feel like it looks thick enough and sturdy enough, I am going to pop that in the oven. Now you want to bake this at the lowest temperature you can. So I'm baking it at 200 because the goal is not to actually bake the crust. The goal is to dry it out. Now we wait for about an hour, so I gave them a little snack of parsley, and then I realized we had mini pie pans, so I took the stuff out and stuffed it in a mini pie pan instead. Now for the fun part, the filling. So I'm using parsley and banana, and then I also decided to add in some apple. So I start by mashing up the banana and stirring that in with the parsley. Any herb really would have worked fine. My guinea pigs love parsley, and I had just bought a bunch of fresh dried parsley, so wanted to use that while it was still fresh. And of course, let your guinea pig snack on the banana peels while you're making it, because honestly, banana peels are super nutritious, and why throw them away when your guinea pigs can eat them or fight over them? Our crust has been in the oven for an hour at 200 degrees and it's looking nice and dry. So now we're going to go ahead and remove it from the pan very, 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 very carefully. This is a very delicate procedure that should only be attempted by either professional bakers or those who are prepared to possibly destroy the whole pie crust. Now we load in all that yummy filling we made. Wait, I swear I recorded the apples. It was so satisfying. Did I not? I don't know, but I diced some apple, as you can see. It was probably the most satisfying thing I recorded, but I don't see it. So now I'm going to use the apple peels to make the little lattice on top of the pie because I figure they're nice and pretty and green and they're, you know, pretty stiff. They won't break. So I cut those into tiny little strips and then I sort of weave them into a lattice to put on top of the pie. This is where you can really see how much I learned from my underwater basket weaving class in college. Yes, yes. Beautiful, beautiful weaving skills, if I might say so myself. And once you have completed your beautiful apple skin lattice, you just very delicately place it on top of your pie as so. Professionals use scissors. Yes, yes we do. Definitely do not use a spatula. That would be absolutely ridiculous. And I just do a little fine tuning, cut off the edges, and voila! Time to serve it to our celebrity guests. You ready? Okay, here you go. Did you win? Did you win the whole pie? Java, come on, you guys can share. It's okay. You may remember, while we were baking, Java thought every single part of this was amazing, and now, what? Shh, no one needs to know that I got this clip from hiding a beef leg in the pie for him to find. Was it yummy? Thanks so much for watching. We hope you had a great pie day. Subscribe for more guinea pig content. If you enjoyed this video, you'd probably enjoy this other video where we make cranberry treats. And bye!
You're not gonna get out of your lap by the time.
I know, for real.